I'm Justin from Barnhouse Sound Productions, and welcome to Tone Tips. If you're a musician or engineer who's all about chasing great tone, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Today we're taking a look at the Union Tube Transistor LAB, an optical compressor pedal that can transform your sound. The LAB offers a warm, clear, beautiful compression on electric guitar, which is initially what I bought it for, to live on my pedal board for my live rig. But today, I'm going to show you a couple different applications for it. We'll be sending the signal out of the computer, going through this, and recording it back into the computer. And I'll show you what it sounds like on some drums that were recorded here at the Barnhouse, some synthesizers, and some bass. Let's dive in. The first thing that I'd like to show you that I like to use it on is drums. I really like to add a mono signal of the Union LAB in conjunction with my normal stereo drum set. So as you can see here, we recorded some drums and committed them down to a stereo track. And we set up a bus and sent it to the lab. And here I'll engage that for you so you can listen to it. Disengage. And the settings on the lab are at about 11 o'clock and just shy of 12 o'clock. And we're getting a little bit of crunch out of it, which is nice. It's giving us a little bit of distortion and saturation, along with evening the signal out a little bit, which is like what a normal compressor does. And so I prefer to use this pedal instead of using something inside the computer or a plug-in, because I find that it gives me a lot more flexibility, and honestly, it's faster. I like the way it also colors the sound more than a plug-in compressor would. A lot of the time when you use something inside the box as well, or inside the computer, I often call the computer the box. When you use something inside the computer, it's very clean, it's very predictable, it's very precise. But I find sometimes music isn't any of those things. So using a unit that's a little bit easier to dial in, has a little bit less knobs, I find it easier to get closer to a sound that I like. And using these external processors is fun to get your hands on. It brings a little bit of the real world back into digital music making. After the drums, the next thing I'd like to show you what the lab sounds like on is a mono synthesizer track that I found had just a little bit too much attack in the transients. And you can see it's a pretty sharp sound. So I'm going to run it through the lab and I'm going to play with it in real time so you can hear what it sounds like. Now the setting on the drums was really dirty, so we got to turn that down a little bit, and you can hear the synth start to open up. We're bringing some of those transients back. Pan it to the middle. I think I'm going to back off on the preamp a little bit. There we go, that's nice. And it's rounded off that first initial attack for me, giving me a little warmth. Now I'm going to boost the compressor a little bit. So you can hear what that does. Now it's gotten a lot quieter. So let's compensate for that a little bit. Let's bring the mix back. I like the way it rounds out that first attack of the note and kind of balances out a little bit. It also gives it a little bit of sustain on the back end of the note that I really like. Another thing I really like to use the lab for is guitars, but usually I do that on the way in. It sounds really great putting it either at the beginning of your pedal board to be able to sculpt the feel of your guitar and the dynamics of your guitar a little bit going into your effects. And it's also really cool to have it on the back end of your pedal board. So it acts as a little bit of a boost and glues all of your effects together on your pedal board. Now, when I say pedal board, that doesn't necessarily have to just be your guitar pedal board either. You can do that with your synthesizers, you can do it with your bass guitar, and you can use a tool like this to sculpt your sound before getting it into the computer. A lot of what we like to do here at the Barnhouse is getting the sounds sounding really cool in the real world first, and then when they get into the computer, they have a lot of life on them already. Another option, as opposed to not using a hardware insert in Pro Tools like I do to be able to sculpt the sound in the computer, is you can send the signal out in a reamp type situation, we call it, where you send the sound out of one of your outs on your interface into the input of your lab, and then take the output of your lab and put that back into a new channel and record that channel. Sometimes there may be a little bit of latency or a little bit of delay in this process. So once you record that second channel back in, you'll have to line it up with that initial recording. I'll include a video in the description that also goes over this process. I love this pedal, and I find it to be a little bit of a secret weapon for me. But you should find your own secret weapons and your own guitar pedals. And always remember that a guitar pedal doesn't just have to be for guitar. It can be for anything. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm Justin from Barnhouse Sound Productions. This has been Tone Tips. And please check out our website at barnhousesoundproductions.com.